All right. Well, Jack, I think this one's yours, right?
I think so. Alrighty.
All right.
Rock and roll.
Chapter 4. Worm. A jet black mat spread across the floor, leaving only a thin border of stone exposed. White linework marked the battle ring, a circle bisected cleanly in half. Centered in each half sat a small white box, and within each box stood a stout rodent in black robes trimmed in white with red accents. Around them, smaller cross legged versions of the two combatants watched in matching uniforms, young marmots and prairie dogs still and intent. One figure broke the symmetry. A larger marmot, graying at the muzzle, wore inverted robes, white with black trim. Above, glowing rock traced arched columns that met at the dome's apex. Opposing doors waited in the stone walls. Along the perimeter, incense braziers burned, steeping the room in cedar and honeysuckle. Smoke climbed, pooled near the crown, and bled away through hidden vents. In the ring, the combatants faced each other and bowed. The elder marmot stepped onto the mat, his robes flowed with each careful stride, revealing a mechanical leg of tiny gears and pistons working with fluid precision, though it did little to smooth the rough hobble. Age bent him forward, kyphotic, the hump beneath his robes rounding his upper back.
Young masters,
He said, smile quivering. His voice wavered yet projected well in the diffuse acoustics.
this is the final round of the 67th Psi trial. Master Jake and Master Craig will demonstrate the full martial prowess of a burrowing rodent trained in the way of the Earth Shaker.
The rocks remember! Shouted the youthful warriors lining the ring in unison. The elder marmot's grin widened, yellowed teeth showing. He eyed each of the combatants, then turned toward them shakily.
Masters, are you ready?
They nodded.
Take form.
Jake and Greg assumed different starting positions. Jake took a staggered stance, arms forward, paws open. Greg spread his feet wide, paws clenched into fists and tucked tight to his waist. The gym went dead silent. Embers crackled in the braziers.
Initiate.
The old marmot commanded, firm but hushed. He took 3 quick steps back, smoothed and calculated, a stark contrast to his earlier hobble. Jake burst forward. Greg shifted into a fraction, or excuse me, Greg shifted a fraction to the side, letting the strike skim past, then countered. Jake read it. Their forearms collided and locked. They pushed, neither giving an inch. Something else met between them. Two immovable wills, not quite thoughts laid open, more like pressure where their minds pressed together. Bodies braced, breath held, at the edge of mind space a shallow contact strained, searching, and Jake found the seam. Not a memory taken, just an echo that slipped loose in the struggle. Greg's father. A long line of Gregs. Disappointment set like stone. The fear of never living up to the name. Jake hooked it and pulled. Inadequacy surged to the surface. Greg faltered, eyes narrowing, face twisting. The lock broke at once, physical and mental. The emotions snapped outward as a shockwave that shoved them apart. Jake didn't waste the gap. He joined his paws at the wrist, palms out, and drove a concentrated burst at Greg. Around the ring, the novices moved together, open pawed shielding. A translucent dome snapped into place. Greg threw up his own shield, smaller but sharp. The impact drove him back, paws skidding along the mat. His barrier deflected most of the force upward, where it splashed against the larger dome and scattered into a prismatic shimmer. Greg refocused, angry at his weakness, furious that Jake had seen it. Not quick enough. Jake smirked and closed the distance, snapping a perfectly formed Earthshaker paw strike that sent Greg reeling into the force field. Jake stayed on him. He had the fight, and they both knew it. Doubt flooded Greg's mind as Jake moved for the submission. Greg defended, but he was hurt. His maneuvers slowed. Jake read every choice before it happened. Jake's grin widened, eyes glinting, as he wrestled Greg down and cinched in a chokehold. Greg bucked and strained, nose pressed into Jake's stubby forearm. He tried to wedge a finger into the gap, but Jake's arm bulged tighter, like a predator, pinning prey under its weight. Greg tapped the mat, rapid and desperate. The old marmot ended it. Jake victor, Greg defeated. As Greg stood and straightened his robes, he felt the room before he saw it. The circle of novices leaned towards each other, murmuring in hushed whispers. For over a century, the line of Greg had held the title of Arksai. Not today. Today, it returned to the line of Jake. Greg's body moved as if running a routine program. He returned to his starting block, bowed out with Jake, and exited the ring. Behind him, commotion and celebration swelled as he left the chamber. Yeah, I am a disappointment, Greg muttered, slipping into the dingy gear room. He grabbed his bag from an earthy cubby and changed into civilian attire with quick, solemn movements. Fabric and buckles whispered. His lock thudded shut. Every so often, cheers seeped through the walls like mockery. Greg paused at the door and looked back into the familiar space, his brow furrowed. Then he dropped his gaze and turned away. The hall to the main entrance was lined with portraits, each titled Greg. His father, his grandfather, his great-grandfather. Names that weren't so much as expectations. He walked until there were no more. He left the Earthshaker gem, the first major expansion of the burrow, carved nearly 2,000 cycles ago. A colossal stone carving of a proud prairie dog towered over the entrance. Greg approached the monument and read the placard. The first Arksai and the last in the line of Chuck, seed of a new era. May the memory of his sacrifice never be buried. Greg placed a paw on the plaque and looked up at the looming statue. His eyes glazed as his stare tunneled through the carved face, as though staring hard enough could change what had already happened. He lingered on the word sacrifice, tracing the groove of the cut letters. He drifted through the spine on his way home. The world narrowed to a smear of stone in motion.
Egg.
A voice called again and again, pulling his mind back into place. Emergency tones echoed through the chasm. The damp chill of wet earth rose through his fur. Greg glanced over his shoulder, uncertain that the call was meant for him at all. He blinked and saw her. Mari mounted on Flip's back. Her father rode behind, arms locked tight. The pup was wedged safely between them.
What are you doing here?
Mari asked. Like he had just arrived, Greg took the scene around him. Hundreds of drenched and displaced rodents slogged through debris-laden streets, gathering into small groups. A baby mouse sat in the mud crying out until a family of moles stopped, the mother scooping it up tight and quelling the tears. Nearby, a corpulent rat dug through sludge with frantic paws, sending chunks flying. It pulled free a footlocker caked in wet soil and scurried off. Mari? What's happening? Greg's voice barely cleared his throat. He stared at the soggy inhabitants and washed out passages leading to various digs.
There was a breach at Deepworks.
Mari said, scanning the diminished flows, trickling down the digs and spilling in small waterfalls into the pit. At its center, the spine's crystal structure rose vertically, catching the runoff in pale glints.
But the water's slowing. For now, at least.
The crystal shuddered. Its light faded. Gasps filled the spine, echoing upward. The crystal flickered, then steadied into its daybreak yellow. Mari and Greg looked at each other again. Mari's brow furrowed above deep brown eyes.
Have you seen Jarrow?
He was on shift this loon, Greg said, half question, half statement.
You're muted, my friend.
Might be muted.
Dang it!
You nailed
I
it,
saw
though.
your mouth move. You did
I
nail
saw it. Yeah, you killed it.
The timing was so good. Go check on your friend.
Mari's dad said, sliding off Flip.
I'll stay here and help.
Greg stepped closer and wrapped Mari's dad in a hug, bending down to meet the smaller gopher. Seriously? You're the best, Mr. Stonepaw.
For the 1000th time, call me by my first name.
Mari's dad groaned, patting his back. Greg caught Mari's eyes and mouthed a question. She couldn't make it out, but produced an agreeable shrug anyway, playing along. You got it, Jupy, Greg said, grinning from far above Jupy's head. Mari hopped off Flip and hugged her dad tight. He kissed the top of her head.
You did great, kiddo. Now go find Jero and make sure he's okay.
They split paths. Jupy set off to aid his fellow denizens, guiding the Graslow pup by the paw. Greg, Mari, and Flip pushed up the main dig that led towards Deepworks. The route was ruined. Flood debris and mud coated everything, smoldering the bioluminescent roots. Only the higher stretches still shone. They picked their way through the slop, paws suctioning, balance never quite certain. From Flip's back, Mari watched Greg. He moved like a machine, head down, driving through it. When a circular door wedged in the mud blocked their path, he tore it free with a shout, cracked it over his head, and hurled the piece down the dig. Mari pulled Flip's reins to a stop.
Greg, what's going on with you?
Just living up to my father's disappointment, Greg said flatly. So, nothing new. Mari swung down into the mud and slogged to him. She put a paw on his arm, as high as she could reach.
You're an amazing marmot. You're one of the strongest, most dedicated rodents in this burrow.
Thanks, Mari. His eyes stayed down. I wish my father felt the same. Doesn't matter now.
What do you mean, it doesn't matter?
I lost the title. Jake crushed me. My father will never forgive me for failing the lineage. Greg shook his head, pulled away, and kept moving. Mari hopped back onto Flip and caught up.
Greg, your father is a fool if he doesn't believe in you.
I've given him every reason in the world not to. They walked on in silence, broken only by the suction of their feet pulling free. Every so often, a faint tremor shivered through the packed earth, loosening mud from the roots.
Greg, something strange happened to me.
Stop, Greg said, cutting her off. Mari shot him a glare. Then Greg's face shifted. Wait, do you feel that? Mari pressed a paw to Flip's ear. Flip sank low to the ground without a sound. Mari slid off the saddle, taking care not to make a sound. A low rumble began and steadily built.
It's coming at us,
Mari muttered. Down the dig, it came into view. A huge pulsating mass filled the passage, hurtling towards them, crushing debris and extinguishing the last of the bioluminescence as it wriggled forward. The head, if you could call it that, emerged. Enormous spikes protruded around a beak-like mouth lined with razor-sharp teeth. Mari yanked the petrified watermelon helmet from her bag.
I've got a plan. We've only got one shot. Get on my tail and direct a blast at me.
She yelled over the rising roar. Greg stumbled behind her as the ground quaked underfoot. The creature closed in. 100 tails. 80. 60. It was moving impossibly fast.
Now!
Mari shouted. No response.
Greg, now!
She looked back over her shoulder. He was frozen. Mari took 2 quick steps back, grabbed a tuft of his chest fur, and jumped to smack his face.
Greg, I need you!
Her voice went hard.
Focus on me.
The days broke. Greg lifted his paws and formed the open-pawed gesture around his body, finishing with a flourish towards Mari. Mari was already moving. She harnessed the momentum of Greg's blast and rotated it around herself in perfect form as the beast's gaping maw bore down. Darkness engulfed everything. Then warmth. The air filled with a musky bouquet of damp earth and decaying foliage, followed by a sharp fishy note. Mari flicked on her lantern and turned towards Greg. Greg stood perfectly still, completely covered in chunks of flesh and unknown goop. He stared at Mari. Then they both turned towards Flip. Flip's tongue smacked into Mari like a wet towel. His eyes widened, and he started hacking and sneezing. Then he sat on his hind legs and tried to scrub the taste from his mouth with muddy paws. It only made things worse,
Ah, gross.
Mari said to Flip.
Why would you do that?
Greg let out a laugh, the sound cracking his dour mood. Mari joined in, and for a moment they reveled in their near-death triumph. "We did it!" Greg shouted. "No one is going to believe we just defeated a worm!"
It doesn't matter what anyone believes.
Mari said, smiling.
We know it.
Greg held his paws up, then down low. Mari jumped and smacked both. He scooped her up and swung her in a circle, then plopped her down beside Flip, who hopped in place, matching their energy. After a few moments, they gathered themselves and wiped off the worst of it. Greg led the way, blasting a path through the worm's soft lining. They pushed on through the slick tunnel towards Deep Works.
Woo!
You.
Woohoo!
Nice.
We did it. Very
The
nice.
worm. It's a fun
The
chapter.
worm.
Very fun.
It's giving Dune worm.
Yeah. It's
It
kind
is
of
giving
meant to
worm.
have a little bit of that vibe for sure. I don't
Very
like
fun.
I don't like totally explain it all, but and it'll kind of come back in future books as well. But yeah, their world is like, and I think I kind of talk about it a little bit more. Mari talks about it in later chapters, but like giant insects and like everything's kind of like mutated and like, you know, giant versions or mutated versions of what we know today. So yeah, it's kind of like I base it basically off of like a giant earthworm. If you actually look up
Yeah.
an earthworm, they have terrifying looking heads. It's just
That's-
like the one
I believe
sitting
it.
next to Jack there in the picture. Yeah, full of teeth.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
Yuck. Someone asked in the chat, made me laugh. Someone asked, "Is this smut?"
Is it smut?
This is
I don't think so, but
No,
I
it's
mean...
absolutely not, but it's very popular in the book world, which I have all the respect. Pays a lot of bills, you know, and
Yeah.
you know, it's fun. But
Yeah, he
not
chased
this
the
is not
bag,
that.
yeah.
No, I think this is a very wholesome
This is-
genre. Is what we're going for. Yeah.
Other than the violence,
A little
it's,
violent.
Yeah, other than the exploding
violent.
worm, it's pretty wholesome. Yeah,
Yeah,
like absorbing life force and all that stuff.
I was talking to someone, and I think it's like it's no more than like a '90s Disney movie level of violence.
No,
I think that's
yeah.
like roughly
It's
where it's
like-
landing.
Well, that's a pretty high bar with some of those
it's like
movies.
preteen friendly.
Yeah, for sure.
Preteen friendly. Yeah. So funny though. Yeah, there was a lot of you guys were blowing up the chat. Lots of comments.
Yeah,
I
weird.
saw out of the corner of my eye. I haven't had the chance to look at any of it because I was reading, but I saw it moving pretty good. So
My favorite comment was Greg Solo's Jesus.
Dillon does play some characters. Someone was saying, "Let Dillon talk," and you do
Well, if
play
we're
characters.
talking-
I have a
just not-
few. They're mostly cameos. Yeah. No, I wanted you guys to really highlight most of the narrating and voices in this book. So I've had
Appreciate it.
my fun writing it, and yeah, I think it's the big part of Gopher in general is like the collaboration. And I really just wanted to get as many people involved as possible. So like getting you all involved, and it's like the art competitions and stuff too. Just trying to get people involved and get the community involved and engaged. So
yeah, it's a
It's really
special
great.
thing. It is. Yeah, I'm excited to see where it goes. You know, as this kind of lore and this universe kind of expands itself, and see how the characters grow. You know, I won't spoil anything about how the book ends, but it definitely leaves room for more storytelling, which I think is great. So
yeah.
excited about that moving forward.
Yeah, you guys should go back through the comments. There's some good ones. You guys got why mustache guy actually sounds good.
Thank you. I don't know if that was a question or
There wasn't a question mark with it, but
Just a statement.
I think it's a
You sound
statement.
good.
Yeah.
yeah.
Very fun.
Yeah. A lot of good comments all throughout.
Seems like there's a lot of love for you, John, in the comments.
Is there?
Someone said, "I'm tattooing the bottom left guy on my butt cheek."
Oh,
That's what someone
yes.
commented.
I'll sign
Oh
it.
my goodness. You'll
People love a
sign it.
mustache. They really do. You
I guess
know?
so.
I guess. I'm just trying to get the mustache to connect to the beard on my end, but I can't seem to get that to work. Maybe someday.
It'll come in eventually.
I
You
hope
just
so.
gotta
I hope
you
so.
gotta be good to it.
It takes time. All
I
right.
suppose it does. But yeah, this has been a lot of fun. I mean, I'm glad everyone seems to be enjoying it. And, I know at least for me, and I'm sure for all of us, we really enjoy reading it. So
Yeah,
we're really grateful and loving this opportunity. It's a blast.
definitely. I really appreciate all of you guys wanting to read it and just be interested in it. So that fills my heart up and it makes me happy that you're all I think that was my greatest fear in just like publishing was like nobody's going to read my book or be interested in it. I mean, I know that
Mhm.
it's a fairly large community, so I figured at least somebody would read it. But yeah, it's great to just see that people are actually enjoying the story.
Yeah.
It's so original. It's so fun,
Yeah,
truly. Like, yeah, it's very cool.
yeah. All the
Well, I mean, what I
concepts are
love
so
is that
cool.
it's just it's on Instagram and it's fun, it's silly and like all these videos and everyone can speculate, but then that stuff kind of makes it into the book. It's
Hmm.
like the community is building the story
Yeah,
as it goes along in the comments and in your reels. I think it's great. I love
yeah,
it.
totally. Yeah, I mean that's exactly like I put it. There's a little like note in the beginning for the community of the in the beginning of this book. And I mean really, yeah, like you said, it's without the community the story wouldn't be what it is. And you don't need to know. So I tried to write it in a way that's like there's Easter eggs, but you don't need to know any of it. Like if you just pick this book up off a shelf and you read it, like you'd be like, oh, okay, that's weird, they're eating pizza, why are they eating pizza, like but there are videos that relate to that. And things like that. So there's lots of fun Easter eggs. So for the mega fans that have watched every single Gopherit video that's ever come out, they'll see a lot of stuff in there. Yeah. Um,
Awesome.
and for anybody that's in the chat or listening, if you want to check the book out, you can read it completely free on Royal Road. That's where I have it posted, and all these links are in my bio link. So if you guys are like, if anybody's interested in just checking it out, and they're like, hey, I don't really want to commit to buying it, you can go read it there. I got the first chapters posted on my website, and then that links to Royal Road. And then all of the books, the physical books, the ebooks are all available on Amazon. And then I just got it out on Draft to Digital, which is kind of like has all of the ebooks together on it. So that's like another platform. So I think it's like Kobo and like Apple Books and different, it has like all the different vendors. So it should be available through most of those. And then I did also just get it published through Ingram Spark, and the ISBNs are on my website too. So like if anybody's looking to buy it, because I know there's some feelings about Amazon. I have feelings about Amazon, but it's kind of
Mhm.
the evil that exists that we have to deal with to some extent. But there's ISBN options as well, and you can go to your local bookshop and they can order it directly through Ingram Spark at a discounted price. So it's like 55% off or something like that for bookshops to order it, and then libraries as well. So trying to get it cast as wide of a net as possible, and hopefully when we get this audiobook out, that'll help expand to some further markets as well, and get it into as many people's hands as possible.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Or ears, I guess.
Totally.
Hands and ears.
Hands and ears, yeah.
Eyes. Yeah. Well,
It's
cool.
just a different way to experience it too. Like someone could read it and then go back and like listen. It's always different, like
Mhm.
Yeah.
listening versus reading with your eyeballs.
Yeah,
Both. Buy
totally.
the book. Buy the audiobook.
I mean, I know for
Do it.
me, I love audiobooks whenever I'm driving because,
Yeah,
driving to
Yeah.
work every
it's the
day. And
best.
I mean, they're great just to have in the background for sure.
Mm.
I'm curious, have you two recorded any of it yet, or was this your like first out loud read through of it?
I've
This is
started
my
my
first.
recording on Worm, so I've passed the fight scene. I'm currently getting close to the Worm fight, so making good progress on it for sure.
Nice. Yeah, I will be doing that probably later and tomorrow, doing a bunch of recording.
Hmm.
So getting it done. But this was fun to do. It's just kind of like feel
Yeah,
the vibe of you all before jumping into it. And
Hmm.
yeah, very nice to do.
Yeah,
I'm
definitely.
just selfishly hoping that in the next couple books we get to see some more Hyraxes. Don't hold me to it, but
How
selfishly
dare you?
hoping.
For those who have read the book and have gotten there, and I won't spoil anything, I'll just say that you'll know that there will be more Hyrax for sure.
And that makes me excited.
Yeah.
I'm ready for guinea pig supremacy. Guinea pig reign.
Yeah, so I don't think this spoils anything, but so one of the things I have planned for book two is there's going to be, and I guess I can just kind of explain the setting without like spoiling any plot or anything. There's going to be a planet that's tidally locked, and so it's going to be two split clans of guinea pigs. I've always said guinea pigs are either barbarians or paladins. So there's going to be like the desert side of the planet and like the ice side of the planet, and the barbarians are going to
Nice.
be on the ice side of the
That's
planet.
awesome.
The paladins are going to be on the desert side of the planet, and in that like habitable ring in the middle is going to be the Holy Roman Hamster Cognate, and they're like the Empire. And so they're like it's going to be kind of an interplay between these three factions on this planet, and some or all of our characters will be involved in that. So it'll be
That's
very fun.
awesome.
I love that. I feel like I don't know if I already said it, but when I was in middle school, I was a really big fan of the Warriors Cats books, and I feel like this is very different, but like there was something like a little bit like comforting and familiar reading this. Like I guess it's
Mhm.
just like I don't know,
Mhm.
it's just like refreshing to like be like, "Oh, animals, not
Yeah,
humans." Like it's just cool.
yeah,
And I feel like the creativity just like I don't know, lets you go places. Like there's no question. Like you just believe all of it because it is already so fantastical, you know.
hmm
Mhm.
yeah.
It's
There's
great.
nothing that's not valid. Like anything
Yeah.
goes.
Right. Totally. Like I believe everything.
Yeah.
It's
And
great.
that's how I felt when I was in middle school. I read the Wings of Fire book series, where it's kind of similar, outlandish, but with dragons. So I agree with that totally. It's nice when you can have kind of non-human characters because it leaves more room for fantastical things to happen.
Yeah.
So
I think Redwall was probably my like first real experience with like animal characters. I don't know. I'm trying to think. I mean, Lion King was like movie, but that was probably before that. But yeah, Redwall was like my first book that I read, and I was like, oh, and
Nice.
rodents
yeah,
specifically.
Very cool.
All right.
Awesome.
Well,
yeah,
thank you guys so much, and I have it all recorded, so like I said, I'll post that and uh, collaborate with all you guys on Instagram and stuff, and um,
Great.
yeah, it's been a lot of
Yeah,
fun.
thank you so much.
Yeah,
Good
it's
to
thank
been
you
see you
all.
great.
all.
All right,
Yeah.
Thanks everybody for tuning in. It's been fun.
Yeah, thank you everyone.
thanks
Thank you.
all.
Bye.
Bye bye.